does have a long story. Joeri has an amazing YouTube channel called The Magic Sauce, where he shares tips and tricks and techniques. Someone has not been muted. So the Magic Sauce basically delivers the techniques that Joeri himself has used to assist organizations around the world with innovation and with getting high energy into their activities. And why I mention that in particular is because one of his YouTube videos called 3 Online Energizers has had 183,000 views for a single video. And it's as basic as it gets: 3 simple online energizers and icebreakers for your virtual meeting. So it gives you a sense of, firstly, how powerful his tips and techniques are, but also how much traction you can get with a very simple message. Joeri presents the Magic Sauce out of Singapore, where it's subtropical weather. And I'm also not saying that to make any of you feel bad. Joeri will see that everyone is very warmly dressed here in Johannesburg, and Lois sipping a mug of hot tea or coffee, which we all feel like right now. It's so freezing. But to warm us up for the day, I'm now going to hand over to Joeri, the Magic Sauce.
Fantastic, gorgeous people. By the way, even if you are mute, we're going to unmute you later on because I want to have a chat with you. You're going to get more value out of a chat than out of anything else. But before we do that, let's do a nice little warm up. While you're sitting there, it's kind of roll your shoulders back a bit. I know it's cold over there. It's warm over here, man. It's like 32 degrees at 7 o'clock in the morning, rolling forwards. There you go. All right, let's hold shoulder stretch. This is important for this conversation. I'll tell you why later on. Okay, so that way, don't overstretch it. I know that leather's there, that pleather is a bit tight, that Tyrone, that's okay. It's all part of the package. It gives it that rock and roll look. I got this. Just the other way around as well. Let's see if you remember this. Anybody remember this one? Do you remember that one? You didn't do this. You that one? Do you remember that? Does anybody know how to do that? It's such an old lame little trick, which my nephew taught me. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for playing with me. Thank you so much for having me as well, guys. Thank you for the introduction. So my name is Joeri. I have a Russian name, actually. It's spelled Joeri, but it's like Joeri, like a Russian name. I was named after Dr. Zhivago, which is an old book by Boris Pasternak, and my mother was in love with Omar Sharif. Now, I don't look anything like Omar Sharif, but his name in the film is called Joeri Zhivago. He's Dr. Zhivago. So she named me Joeri. That is why my name is like it is. I'm very happy to be here with you to talk about a little bit of video stuff. I've got a couple of slides, not too many, because they're just to highlight a couple of points. So what we'll do is we'll talk a little bit about video. I've got some thoughts for you. Got a quick video which I want to share with you as well, and then we'll open up the floor. If that's cool with you, just give me a thumbs up so I can kind of, yeah. If anybody can't hear me, let me know. There you go. Fantastic. Just so you know, I can't see the chat over here, so you're going to have to wait for that for a second. Let's talk video stuff. It's a bit like a party, these kind of events, I always say. You know, it's a bit like I'll provide you music and the snacks, and you decide whether you have a good time or not. I think these kind of sessions are run best together. And it's up to you how much you want to throw in. If you just want to sit back and relax, that's fine. If you want to jump in there in the chat and ask your questions, it's fine as well. It's up to you how you want to be. You decide you're going to have a good time or not. And if you're not having a good time, I'll just log off and do something else. Life's too short for this. But I'll make it fun and interactive. So who's me then? I've run about 100 different innovation projects. So my background, I'm not a YouTuber. I have a YouTube channel, but I'm actually an innovation guy. For the last 15 years, I've been working with companies to help them solve problems, come up with creative ideas for products, services, and business models. Anything from helping airplanes turn around faster to helping the Republic of St. Lucia increase their GDP by coming up with run products, to launching a completely new competitor to the 7-Eleven here in Southeast Asia. Kind of clever thinking around business challenges. The ironic thing about that is I got kicked out of school twice, 12 and 14, because apparently I didn't listen and I made up my own rules. And interestingly, some years later, That's my profession. So I just started creating videos because that was fun. I did lots of keynote speaking before facilitation. Started creating videos because I was like, look, people are not going to pay for all of these talks, for this facilitation anymore. Let's just start giving away this information to people for free. I started sharing really tactical things around innovation. And what's funny about YouTube, we'll get more into YouTube in a second. What's funny is I remember I've got this video that's called 2 Innovation Models to Help Leaders Decide Where They Want to Innovate. It's a very kind of lofty, big strategic topic. It's about, here are the questions and frameworks to help you decide where to innovate. Now, this is stuff that's like McKinsey level, right? But just cooler, not a suit and ties McKinsey. And I thought that was amazing. So I sent this video, I got 500 views, and nobody watched it. I set up one video that's called, here are 3 little energizers and icebreakers that make sure that you nor anybody else look like a complete idiot. And that one has got 180,000 views. So YouTube is a funny world. It's a bit what you think people might want, it's not necessarily what they might want. And it's a good example of you getting back exactly what the market wants, what the market needs. So I've created a couple 100 videos for YouTube, for LinkedIn, got more than 500,000 views. In YouTube terms, I'm just getting started. I'm still very, very small. I'm learning every day, but it's a fun journey. It's all the hard work. And it is my playground. I think it's my playground. And I think YouTube is a fantastic world to live in. I'll tell you why later on. All right, so that's a little bit about me, blah, 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 blah. I want to talk to you about videos. I want to talk to you about engagement. I want to talk to you about stories. Because if you're speakers, you already know engagement, you already know stories. Some of you already will have used video. I think the sweet spot is with those 3 things. Those are the 3 ingredients that be the magic sauce. I think is those 3 things. A lot of it, to a lot of people, video is a bit new. It's a bit like, oh, it's a young people thing, or I don't know how to do it. I'm weird on camera. I think it is the opportunity right now for you. And if you aren't learning video, you're like that guy in the 90s, like, I don't think email is going to be a big thing. Or that person 10 years ago was like, oh, social media is just for kids. I don't get it. It's just stupid. You're going to get left behind because the world's going to move forward anyway, whether you like it or not. So get learning, get off that high horse and just learn these techniques. Guys, you got more. This little thing here has more computational power than Ronald Reagan had at his disposal in the 1980s. Keep that in mind. This little thing right here. This is a media studio. So don't let that stop you. Many people ask me, well, I thought if I don't have the right camera, nothing to do with that. You got to learn. You got to get learning. So why is that so important? Because I think right now for you, there's like 3 main things that are getting in the way. So I'm talking to speakers. I hope I'm speaking at the right event. Yeah, you guys speak, you tell stories, you engage with your audience, you have a story to tell. So what leadership, tech, and growth and change, and all these things. There's 3 things right now that are ruining your business potentially. And that's why I think the traditional speaking industry is dead or dying. And a lot of people don't like to hear that. COVID's one, access to, and noise is the 3rd one. Then we go to all 3. COVID, of course, has thrown in a wrench. Nobody could have seen this coming, black swan event, and it's pushed forward priorities, things that were not important before, all of a sudden now are important. It has changed the way we work. We all know this. We've been in this world that's pushed forward the need for different things, the need for different technology. So that's flipped the entire world on its head, but we all know that. So let's move on to the next one. Access. We'll ask you a question. Who's this? You put it in the chat. If you don't know who this is, you have to leave right now. Okay, so let me see if I can see the chat. I also love Dr. Zhivago. Thank you, Lois. Appreciate it. Thank you for sending the video. There you go. Excellent. Okay, just want to make sure. In the chat, let me know, how much does it cost for me to get access to Gary Vee? If I want to get him to, if I want to see one of his talks, how much would I pay? What does he charge? How much would I be paying for that? Rough guess. I kind of know, actually. 0 this time. Okay. Throw something out there. So this guy yesterday for free, 0. Cool, he's so clever. I was like, I'm going to get him because they're going to say $100,000. Of course it's 0. Yes, it can be. Melanie, you're right as well. By the way, I heard he charged about 120 or something. So 20,000 more than I normally charge. But he charges a lot of money. Charges a lot of money. But the reality is, like other people are saying, 0. You can get access to Gary Vee for free. It's called the internet. He puts all the stuff out there through his podcast and through his videos. He tells himself. Same with Michelle Obama. She was in Singapore 2 years ago, I think. Amazing speaker, great story. But why would I pay $10,000 if I can just look at any of her talks online on YouTube for free? And that's how it's changing. Now, I'm not saying you can't get paid as a speaker. Of course you can. And I hope your business is doing all right. My business taken a massive hit last year. A lot of people is the same. But the access to people has changed. For years ago, people would pay for these things. You can access anybody you want right now. I can go on TED, on YouTube. I can see Richard Branson talk about entrepreneurship and about growth. That's the second one. And the third one is, the reality is there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of people who are experts or gurus or this or that and that. I hope I'm not offending anybody. There's a lot of noise out there. A lot of people, it's sameness, it's plain vanilla, it's not that exciting. And it's the same on YouTube. A lot of people say that YouTube is very saturated. True, it's also saturated with a lot of crap because a lot of noise on there. And the thing is, there's a younger generation coming that doesn't want that noise, that doesn't know how to deal with that noise very well. They want things more tailored for them, and they want people to talk to them rather than to everybody else. So those three things make it hard to stand out, in this world. How do they find you? Do they even know where you are? So then what? If those are the things, well, then video is the best investment. To me, it is the best investment you can make in yourself. Why? Because right now, this is video. That's what we do. You're right here in Singapore. Show you my cat. Can make you a cup of coffee. It's my way of interacting with you. It's a bit different, but I'd love to be there with you and have a cup of cappuccino and just chat to you in the cold. I miss the cold. It's just not the same. I think video is one of the best investments you can make. So I want to show you a quick video. Make sure I can do that right. I'm multitasking all by myself. By the way, at this point, if you have any questions, any comments, thoughts and prayers, leave them in the chat. Meanwhile, I'm going to find you a little video, which I want to play for you to give you a little bit of thinking. So if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat right now. And I'm going to do this. Okay. Okay, cool. So good. All right. In that case, I'm going to share with you a little video and make sure that you can hear the sound. Can everybody see the screen? Yo, could you see if you can see my screen? Just nod so I know. Yeah. And then I'm going to quickly play the sound. If you hear the sound, give me a thumbs up. Okay, cool. So I'm going to show you a quick video. This is a course I created a video on a course on video making. This is a little introduction about why video is such a big thing.
So, you want to create video. I think that is an excellent decision. And now is the best time to do it. See, video making used to be in the hands of a select group of people with special titles. They were either politicians or news anchors or TV broadcasters or celebrities. Video making or being on TV was a special thing. It was a couple of people decided what we watched on TV and how we watched it. Making video was hard because there was film, it wasn't digitized yet. The word cut and paste came from literally taking the film off a spool, cutting those and then piecing them together to create a scene and to create a sequence. These are things you can do on your phone or on your computer now in a couple of seconds. That's how this new technology and the internet have kind of really democratized how we watch things and how we create media out there. I mean, think about it. There's a kid somewhere in the basement creating videos about how to draw penguins that's getting more views and more attention than the mainstream news broadcasters or TV channel. I mean, these are exciting times. You can decide what you watch and you can decide what you create. And to future-proof yourself for as much as we can future-proof ourselves, I think the skill of video making should be one that's definitely in your toolbox somewhere. There are things that you can learn, they're practical, hands-on things that you can learn to create more engaging videos. That's what this course is all about. When email first came out, that was a big thing. It was a way to communicate with people who were not in your direct vicinity and to send messages all over the world, digital messages. The problem with email was that because it was just words on a screen or words on a piece of paper, you lost out on all this communication, all these communication cues like body language and intonation and inflection. Then people started adding more pictures in the emails and in the presentation because a picture paints 1,000 words. Well, fast forward that to now, video is that way now. Video is, to me, the closest you can get to face, just with a much larger audience. Keep in mind that in the next couple of years, a couple 100 million people will gain access to the internet, and they will want to do the same things. They will want to have their problems solved, and they want to be entertained, and they want to learn. And whatever they find online then, whoever they first find is probably going to be the one they see as an authority or as interesting. So what does that mean for you? Let's say that your competitors have much more experience than you, or that girl over there has written 25 books but has no online presence, but you do. You've got engaging contents out there. And by the time these people start to look, maybe they find your contents first and they find that most engaging. I mean, think about it. Every minute, 300 hours of videos being uploaded to YouTube. Every minute, every 60 seconds, 300 hours of video. And I'm just talking about YouTube. I'm not even talking about Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat, or Instagram. Now, I'm not saying that you want to be a YouTuber. I mean, video can be used in many other ways. You can use video to connect with family and with friends. You can use video to send out simple instructions to do something. You can use video to create an online course. You can use video to share a simple idea or ask a question on a platform like LinkedIn. Now, I can hear some of you think, well, hang on, Joeri, if every minute 300 hours of video is being uploaded to YouTube alone, then how the hell am I going to stand out? How the hell is anybody going to find me in this pile of video? Well, the first thing to do is, of course, is to get started, because 100% of shots you don't take, you're going to miss anyway. So this course is all about getting you ready and getting you practicing and getting you going, because the standard's only going to get higher. Things are only going to get faster and faster. So you might as well start now. So all you got to do is take action. And when I think of action, I think of this beautiful quote by Hugh Laurie, which I read online the other day. It's a terrible thing, I think, in life, to wait until you're ready. I have this feeling now that actually no one is ever ready to do anything. There's almost no such thing as ready. There's only now. And you might as well do it now. Generally speaking, now is as good a time as any. So let's get started.
Yes, that was me multitasking. So it was just a quick little video because I think it shows the importance of video making. It's just such an important skill to own, I think. And I said it's never easier than now. So a couple of quick things. How do you get started? Just get started, right? There's never a better time than right now. You have it in your hand already. I love that a couple of people, we can talk about this if you want, are asking us what's like the best lens or what are the best cameras and stuff. Sure, you can break the bank on this kind of stuff. The reality is just get started with what you have. The best tools you can use are the ones you have available, you know how to use. So what you need is a camera and a brain, and I hope you have both. And here's like 3 little things I got from 3 YouTubers I love to follow. One of them is Roberto Blake. Roberto Blake's been on YouTube for a long, long time. And I learned this from him when I first got started. He goes, like, if you're going to get started on YouTube, and by the way, it doesn't just have to be YouTube. It could be writing blogs or whatever it is that you do. Create 100 crappy ones. Like, forget about it. You're not going to get it right until you get it wrong 1,000,000 times. But commit to 100. That was his whole thing. You can't make one video and then go, why is nobody watching it? Well, because it's probably not that interesting yet. You got to put in some time and put in some hustle. Do this. There you go. The other one here is by Katie Yo, who says you need at least 2 out of these 3. Think about what you offer in these 3 things. You have all 3. You at least need to ramp up 2 the video. We'll talk a bit more about that. But you got your personality. You all have a beautiful personality, something that's you, something that's your brand, your stories, your experience, the way you speak, the way you stand, the way you move. That's all part of your personality. You got to have the content. Like, what are you going to create these videos about? And the third one is editing skills. A lot of people think editing is this afterthought for somebody with a tech experience. My suggestion is the better videos out there, they don't have to be editing heavy, but if you learn editing, you're going to make it a lot better. Now, I know a lot of people who start with editing. It's a lot of work, just so you know. And then eventually they will hand it off to somebody else. They hire someone to do the editing for them. But those 3 things, your camera and the brain, and then think about your personality, your editing, your content. And then finally, the final one, which, I'm just going to go against what I'm saying right now, ignore everybody. Nobody knows. They don't know either. And we're all trying to figure out how this world works, particularly now, because I work in innovation. My job is to break the rules and to poke holes in things. The stuff that used to get me in trouble, I get paid for now. One of the biggest things I usually tell clients is, ignore people. Just let's play with it. Let's test. You got to do it, because you could think about it all you want. Unless you start doing things, you won't know. You got to figure out what works for you. With that in mind, that is kind of a bit of a setup which I have around video and why it's important. And what I want to do is you can just hop off mute, and let's talk a bit about video. I know some people have some technical questions. You could put them in the chat if you want as well. I'm looking at a couple of things over here. I would, if you want to, you can. I don't know whether Arthur needs to do that or yourself. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat, or you can just shout them out over here. We'll just get started somewhere. I could talk about whatever you want.
I'll fill the questions to you, Joeri, but in fact, I was about to put a placeholder question to you, but Brian has just asked which app is good for editing on your phone. He actually said Goof, and he doesn't have an app that's good for editing text. But what's good for editing on phone?
So that really depends on whether you're an Apple user or non-Apple user. I have see if I can find it. Okay, we'll talk about schedule. Thank you. So I use something called Video Leap. I like Video Leap. I'll put that in here. You don't have to use that one. What I would do, because every 3 months some new apps will come out, Google it. Honestly, Google it. Google like free video editing apps for phone, or for Android, for Apple, whatever it is. Start there. Get the free ones to start playing around with it. Because I can tell you that most editing software in the beginning can be a bit overwhelming, because you need to understand how they work. But as I'm looking at these, I want to make sure I can see all of you guys. I'm going to put you on camera review so I can see.
I just want to mention that Tyron hosts a masterclass on a virtual presenting and talking about the tools like OBS and the like. And you really have to pay seriously close attention to understand what's going on. So the typical speaker doesn't have that kind of attention span. We're all ADHD. So that's why there's a common need for something that's quick, simple, and preferably free for those speakers who aren't earning during COVID.
Sure. If you want to do quick, simple, and free, of course you can. But let me tell you one thing. Because the things are quick and easy and free, everybody else is doing them, and you're just going to jump on that pile of vanilla like everybody else. If you want to stand out, you're going to have to do something that nobody else does. And if you go, hey, you know what, that's just not me, I don't want to spend too much time on it, cool. Then that's exactly the rewards you're going to get. I'm quite hard on this one, because I know most people just don't survive in this whole video making game, because it's hard work. It's incredibly hard work. And it doesn't mean you shouldn't get started, because I do believe if you get started, you're going to learn a couple of things. I'm reading your comments, by the way, yeah, just so you know. Of course, you know, if you want to get started, just get started somewhere. You have to put in a bit of time. But the difference will be is the people who will go the extra mile, who will find that angle, who can be able to stand out from the noise. Because if you just want quick and easy, sure, you're just going to be part of the noise. Not you personally, I don't know, but I'm a true believer of that. And I think good stuff requires hard work. Again, a lot of stuff is easy. You're just going to get easy results as well. And by the way, it's not just the speakers who may not have that attention span and stuff. I think it's people in general. I spend about 30 hours a week on top of my other stuff creating videos. And just so you know, I've got about 5,000 subscribers, 500,000 views, et cetera, pretty good, right? I made about $1,000 last year off that. So it's not like it's paying me directly from YouTube. I'm getting other work through that. People will see my work and say, oh, I really like that video you did on this. Can you come talk about that? Or can you help us with this? I'm using it as a promotional tool. I hope that answered that question. And again, I don't want you to become deflated about this, but understand that it is work, it takes time. But when it comes to apps, find what's free, start playing around with it. The good thing is, once you get it, you have to go through a bit of the pain. Once you get it, it's like driving a car or riding a bicycle. If you know how to drive a Honda, you can also drive a BMW, or you can drive a Volkswagen. Like, it's not that much different anymore. Editing software is basically the same. Start with one you like and play with that, see where you go. I'm looking at a couple of questions. And by the way, if I'm not answering your question well enough, just go back. Tell me more, Joeri. Tell me now.
Joeri, can I jump in?
Hi, please.
Do you literally storyboard every video?
No, I don't. So there's a couple of questions around the weekly schedule of video creation. So I do a couple of things. Storyboarding versus just having an idea. Sometimes a video can be as simple as I come back from a run, I have an idea. I'll flick on the camera over here, I've got lights over here, and I just start talking and then I'll turn that into a video. Sometimes it's just one simple idea that comes out. Sometimes it's a bit more complex. And what I'll do is I'll usually take a board like this and I put a whole bunch of Post-its on there. This is like a little new training program which I'm running, but I'll storyboard it just with Post-its. I'll quickly gather a couple of ideas and I move these around. I don't use Excel. I don't like Excel because it's screen. Anyway, I like Post-its, but I kind of have the rough outline. I never do scripting, if that's your question. Scripting doesn't work for me. It might work very well for other people. And one little thing on kind of how you shoot your videos. So I have a schedule. That means I've got video topics with a couple of notes. So I already know what the core of the video is. The core of the video might be, here's why I always bring this bell when I facilitate meetings, something like that. Another video might be, here's a cheap camera you can get for price X, which will really help you make your video work better. It could be as simple as that. So I have the schedule, which I then work out. I don't script. And the reason I don't script is because I rarely shoot things in one shot. A lot of people think when they do video, and I see this a lot, they'll kind of have an entire script worked out on whatever. Hi, my name is this, and I'm a speaker on that. I'm going to step into your world. And they rehearse, and then they kind of go, like this, and they kind of hit record, and then they go, hi, my name is Joeri, and in this video, I want to tell you why you should hire me as a speaker for your next innovation conference. The reason I say this is because I've been doing this for about 10 years. I've got about 100 innovation projects. By the way, I'm already doing it a lot better because I do this a lot. But usually that doesn't happen. You trip over your words. Now imagine that you spend a minute talking. You can say a lot in a minute. You trip over your words, you have to go back. I record my videos like this. Hey, everybody from the PSA South Africa. My name is Joeri, and today I'm going to be talking about video stuff. Here are 3 reasons why I think you should really invest in video. Reason number 1, that's literally what it looks like. And if I show you a video, I look like a moron because I'll have like my cat walks in and things fall over. I sometimes don't hit record. It is definitely that creative process. So I do go by a bit of a schedule in terms of when I upload which videos, which are based on what people want. So people leave me a comment, say, can you create a video about water? Yeah, that's what people are looking for. I'm going to give people what they want because that's what my audience wants. And then with the video, I'll use a couple of Post-its, usually about 10, and I talk around that one. And I never do it in one shot, basically. To me, there's another question or point.
Sounds good. Joeri, do you want to go through the questions yourself, or do you want us to feed them to you?
I can go through myself. So I'm looking at this. How do you do those different camera angles in the video you showed us? I can do 2 different things. I can have 2 different cameras. So here's camera 1. Sometimes I have camera number 2. You go, oh my God, he's so fancy. He's got 2 cameras. I buy most of my stuff secondhand, just so you know. I might just have 2 different angles. So what I then might do is I'll record both. So I've got one on this side of my face, look at me like that, and one camera that I look in. And in my editing, I just cut from camera 1 to camera 2. That's one way. If you only have 1 camera, what I would suggest is you do something like this. Hi, everybody. My name is Joeri. Today, I'm going to talk to you about video making. I could do that. I then move my camera over there. I still keep looking the same way. So you get this angle, say, hi, everybody. My name is Joeri. Today, I'm going to share with you some ideas for video, something like that. And you can cut between those to get different angles. So if you have 2 cameras, that works. If you don't have 2 cameras, that's fine. If that doesn't answer your question, jump in, yeah? This is a bit more tricky on the Zoom that had people in the room. For computers, Apple and Mac, consider DaVinci Resolve. It's free and powerful, absolutely. DaVinci Resolve is great. I think there's, so I use Final Cut Pro. There's Premiere Pro by Adobe. They're like cars. Learn how to pick one you like, go for the free one, go for a simple version. Tyrone, would you agree with that? You kind of start with something once you understand kind of how they work, how you overlay a picture, how you add a bit of music and some text. That's all you need in the beginning. Don't make it more complex. You can start there.
So, Joeri, something I want to add there.
Go for it.
Is a lot of people get intimidated by video editing, and I use the car analogy as well, where my car can go 180. I have done 180 in it. Generally, I drive at 120. So the point being is use software that can do everything you need, even if you don't need the all fancy stuff.
I agree. If what is stopping you from creating video is the fancy stuff, you're missing the point. If what is stopping you is not having the right microphone or camera, that's bullshit. Honestly, you're sitting here talking to me. You've got everything you need. You're proving the point right here. Yes, of course you can invest in microphones. I got this microphones. I mean, I got a professional studio like $1,200. I got a $6,000 camera. They didn't start there. It's because I take this very seriously, and I've been doing some commercial work for clients, helping other people create content, video content. I got paid with that and an upgrade. Most of the stuff I buy secondhand, but that should not be the starting point. The starting point should just be, let's get started. And here's, before I forget to say this, and anybody who's created content will know this. A lot of people ask me, well, what if I create a video? I'm a serious person. What if I create a video and I put it on LinkedIn and nobody watches it, or people think I look like an idiot, and I go, okay, come here. Gotta tell you something. Nobody will watch your stuff anyway. Now, I know this sounds very disheartening. I mean this in the sweetest way possible. What am I trying to say with this one is when you first get started, nobody watches your stuff. Nobody knows who you are. It doesn't matter. So why not use that time to just play and throw stuff out there and see what sticks? You'll be surprised. Some people might say, hey, I watched that video of yours that you talked about this. That's really interesting. But you got to get started. In the beginning, nobody will watch your stuff. It's crickets. Like my first 30 subscribers, of course, it's like your aunt and like your sister, and you heckle all your friends into like being a subscriber. But the reality is they're probably not your audience anyway. That's cool. You got to get started somewhere. Like, oh, 5 people watch my video. You all got to start somewhere. So equipment is never it. So my follow-up question here is, where should a creator invest first? Audio equipment or a camera? You've got a camera already. You've got pretty good microphone in this already. Even Samsung's or Oppo, whatever you use. If there is a hierarchy between the two, if you had to go, look, a simple camera, whatever. I got like $100 for Christmas, whatever, and I want to invest in something. I'm looking at Tyrone. Let's see whether you agree. I would invest in audio over video, and that's because purely if I look at my YouTube stats, I look at other videos. There's some videos out there. The content's great, guys, great. They've got, remember I said content and like engaging personality, all that stuff. They have all that. If the sound is not good, if the sound is muffled or tinny, or it just doesn't sound nice to the ears, people will click away. 100% of the time, they will click away. You get the best video. If your sound isn't that good, that really works. That really works against you. So a suggestion would be, if you are going to get started, invest in slightly better sound. This is about $100 as a condenser mic. I use this for Zoom. I use this for podcasts. Awesome. Like even like a cheaper kind of handheld mic. Anything that's closer to your mouth will really make a difference. Some people use a lapel mic. Awesome. Buy that. You get a cheap one for like $20. You get a slightly better one with a better cable for about $40. They're not too expensive anymore. I don't know how much that is in rand, but they don't cost that much. I would invest in audio over video because my assumption is your video is probably already pretty good. I'm looking at all of you, your beautiful faces here. Your video works. You put a little light on you. I've got a whole video where I use like a second-hand IKEA lamp just to light up my face. You can play around with that. By the way, so far so good. Give me like a thumbs up, a thumbs down. Like, is this useful at all? Like, are we on the right track? It's not Excel for beginners. Loving it. KG, thanks for that. Thank you for doing that. Oh, like digital thumbs as well. Fancy thumbs, is it called? Are you monetizing YouTube? Is that the aim, or are you using it for lead generation? Great question. So I just told you last year I made about $1,000. Hey, I'm not complaining. Yeah, it's more than I even expected. So I run ads. So I turn on advertising for videos. That means there's little ad in the beginning, little ad at the end. On YouTube, people are kind of used to ads. Nobody really watches them. We're all waiting for like skip ad, and then we hit that button. I do the same, just so you know. But making a bit of money off that. So the more views you get, the more ad money you get. But it's not big. I even have friends around me who are like, oh, look at you, YouTuber, raking in the money. There are not many people who make that much money. A little question for you, hands on the keyboard. I've got a question for you. So there are roughly 30 million YouTube channels out there, 30 million YouTube channels. Of those 30 million YouTube channels, how many percent have more than 1,000 subscribers? Put in a guess. How many percent of 30 million YouTubers have more than 1,000 subscribers? Let's see what you got. 20%, 1%, 3%, less than 10, 500,000, 60%, 2%, less than 10%. Cool. It's about 0.25. It's less than 1% have more than 1,000 subscribers. So when you look at PewDiePie is a gamer. He's a Swedish guy. Felix, I forgot his last name. PewDiePie has about 100-something million subscribers. So if you look at how power is distributed on YouTube, it's like the iceberg. Things like this, like a little tip. People that make the majority of the money. It's like the wealth distribution in the world. That's basically what it looks like on YouTube. It's so funny how that translates. There's not many. So back to the question, I'm not making money per se. So I am monetizing my YouTube a little bit. I've turned on the ads. I make money indirectly. This is a great way for me to speak to you, get to know new people. Through that, I get invited for work. I'm now helping other people with their content. So I'm now working as a content strategist. I'm moving away from innovation strategy to content strategy, working with, in this case, I work with underdog entrepreneurs. So I don't want to work with the big guys. I work with people who are the number 3s in the market that are willing to take a bit of a risk, and I want to stand out from the clutter and the noise. I work with them now. That could have only happened through YouTube, and these people are finding me now. So that's cool. And then to your second point, was the aim to make money? Hey, you know what? If I can make a bit of money this way, awesome. Why not? But it's not my main thing, because I make money through courses, and I make them through consulting. So I sell my time and sell products. So it's not a major driver. And I think the way that helps me is I'm not that, it doesn't bother me if people don't watch every video and it's not always amazing. I'm doing it for a lot of fun. I'm putting a lot of the effort, and that's how I'm growing. Now, of course, as I'm growing, I'm getting smarter with what I put out there. I do more research into which titles work, which thumbnails, but it's not the ultimate goal. If it goes that way, hey, if I can get half my rent with my YouTube income, why not? All of you would do exactly the same thing. That would be awesome. I'm just going to go through your questions, yeah? So let me know, cut me off at any time, jump in here, Brian, or Arthur, or anybody else, jump in at any time you want. Ik kan het niet in Afrikaans, but I can do it in English.
So Joeri, a quick question from my side. We in fact have similar kinds of numbers to you on our YouTube channels, but as you say, we don't actually make money from that. It's so minimal, it wouldn't be worth the trouble if that was the intention. But we do look for different ways of monetizing it, like, for example, with sponsorships or sponsored posts, rather, because the viewers, or at least our partners, know exactly. Our partners in the process know that we have an audience that is influential or listens to what we say, and it's a small but significant audience, so they're willing to pay for that. Do you find that undermines your credibility if people know that you're actually being paid to put out a video?
Nope. I do know that legally in many places you have to say when you're being sponsored. So I'll give you an example. I'm not getting paid by these guys. This is microphone. They have a new bit of software. They reached out. They said, hey, we're from Rogers, an Australian company. They make microphones and stuff. Said, hey, we've got a new bit of software. Do you want to do a review video? I'm what they call a nano influencer. My girlfriend works in social media, by the way. So I'm like, oh, I'm a big deal. She goes, actually, you're really small because you can do this stuff free for them. All it costs them is like a $100 microphone, and you'll spend 30 hours creating a video, which will get them the views, and the people who like you might then buy the mic. So for them, it's a good deal. But you have to say it when you're getting paid for something. I have to let people know, just so you know, this is a sponsored post. In many countries, it's a legality, like in the US. I don't know about Singapore, but I think it's more of an integrity. If you are getting sponsored by somebody, I think it is fair to let your audience know that. But that to me is more an integrity thing than anything else. Does that answer your question? Sorry, Arthur.
Yes, thank you. That's perfect. And then to combine two questions that have been asked, someone just asked about building your mailing list, and someone else earlier asked about lead generation. So I guess that's really the question. The combined question is, what are the best tactics for lead generation through YouTube?
I put my full videos on YouTube. There's a couple of ways I've used lead generation. All my talks I've done. So I did lots of public speaking before. I don't do much anymore, but I used to do these big kind of speaking events like you guys do. And I put all of my talks, but snippet. Most people are not going to watch a 45-minute talk if they don't know me. I put snippets of about 1.5 minutes of my talks out there. The ones I think best represent my brand. They're very in the moment. They're kind of nice. There's good sound, got a little lapel mic on. I've just cut them into little bits, put some beats under it. I make sure my social things underneath. Give me a call to action, right? Give me a call. Go to my website. Book me here. Let's talk. Those kind of things are a great way. And I can then go, if you want to watch the full talk, click here. And here's just the snippets. That's one way. Those snippets I can then put on LinkedIn. I can send to people. I was asked to come do a talk in Shanghai before COVID. And I basically just send a client 3 links. I go, here, 3 little YouTube videos, give you a bit of an idea about what I'm all about. I'm not very conventional. So if you're a very conservative player, I'm not your guy, because I'm there to shake things up. That's what I do. So then they get an idea of what I do. So I use that a lot. I use those videos a lot. Can I give you one more example, actually, of how you can use video as an incredibly powerful way? I'm going to show you another video. It's a short one. So, by the way, give me another thumbs up. Like, is this cool? Am I waffling on? Am I losing people? How are we doing? So good. Just shout them out, yeah, people. That's what I'm here for. You know,
Joeri, while you're sharing it, I just want to share
Yes.
something that Joeri does so well. So on his LinkedIn live streams, he's incredibly naughty. So he does that. He's like, give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying this content. So what immediately happens is LinkedIn's algorithm picks up that there's huge engagement on his live stream and notifies more people about it. So when you're doing any kind of a live, ask people to comment, like, whatever, and he does it, and then there's like 40 people giving a thumbs up, and then I'm like just shaking my head. I'm like, you're so naughty. But it's so well done.
Well, also because I always drink on my Friday live shows. I kind of go, hey, I always have a vodka with a bit of juice and like 2 beers in my hand. It's like a casual conversation on Friday. But yeah, it's a great way to get engagement. And the way to get engagement is what I just did. I go, hands on the keyboard, give me answers to this one. Here's a question. Here's a little video. Normally I have different videos or kind of like a different angle from a different side. Just to surprise people a bit. Play with the lens. People want you to talk to them. This is a great way to go, hello, people, up close and personal. Now, it can get a bit uncomfortable, so let me zoom out a bit again before you see all the details of my 44-year-old face. This is a way to engage with people. Video is awesome. And I would not be able to do this way if I hadn't started with video. Just so you know, if anybody thinks I'm too old, I started creating videos at 40 years old. So it's not like a young people game. That's why I said before, get the program, and then you're just going to get, you might get left behind. If you don't know how to do something, learn it. It's the best time is now. I'm going to show you a quick video, bit of context. I applied for a job. And the reason that's important to know is because I usually don't apply for jobs. I run my own business for about 10 years, and I'm what I like to call highly unemployable. I was employed by a bank here in Singapore for a short period as in the innovation team to help the bank disrupt banking. And I left, ended up leaving in about 8 months because it wasn't my thing. But I remember everybody saying that I was being a bit too disruptive, and I was a bit like, "This is what you hired me for. What's the deal?" So I never really applied for a job, and I saw the job opening for head of innovation at Lego, and I went for it because Lego is a brand that I grew up with. I bet you some of you as well. It's solid, it's sustainable, it's about learn and play, which is a big driver in my life. It's head of innovation. I get to play around with it. It was awesome. And I always said, if there's ever going to be a good job at Lego, I'll go for it. I don't apply for many jobs, but I went for that one. But of course, I had not applied for a job since 2003, just so you know. I kind of rolled into my jobs because of a bit of exposure, do a bit of talking video. People knew what I did. So I wanted to apply for this job through an SAP system, those kind of rigid systems. And by the time I get there, I'm like, okay, let's apply for this job. Once in a lifetime opportunity, head of innovation for Lego globally. That's like a big ass deal. So I went for it, and then something happened. And let me show you the video so you understand the context of what happened. Ready to go, ready to rock and roll, and 3, 2, 1.
Hey there, my name is Joeri. I'm Dutch, I live in Singapore, and this is my response to the opening of the role of Head of Innovation for Lego. When I first saw this post, I gotta say, I got a little bit excited. Yeah! And even my friend's first response was, "You of all people should totally join Lego." And of course, as a child of the 70s, Lego was a staple in our home. This was handed over from my cousins to my older brother and sister, and to me, and now it's with my nephew, my niece somewhere. Still going strong after so many years. By the way, kids, Uncle Joeri wants his Legos back. But it's not just Lego, it is innovation at Lego. That's where my ears perked up, because that is a match made in heaven for me. And I've always said that if there's ever going to be a job opening at Lego, particularly something like this, I'd be on top of it like a pelican on a fish head. See, I've spent the past decade and a half working on more than 100 innovation initiatives, some of the coolest organizations around the globe, either in-house or with agencies. Initiatives like co-creating breakfast solutions with mums and kids across Southeast Asia, working with a traditional German manufacturer on digitizing their ancient production process, design a completely new concept store which started making money weeks after opening the doors, developed a range of solutions for a tech giant and their customers around the Internet of Things and the future of connectivity. Oh, and in 2019-2020, I mentored innovation and entrepreneur teams from a large life sciences company, taking them from a rough concept into a business plan and a working prototype within about 12 weeks. Well, the best news is 2/3 of those teams got the funding, and one of them is being implemented right now. Now, I say I worked on these projects, but clearly in most cases I led cross-disciplinary teams from inside and outside the organization across the entire value chain in this fine dance between madness and measure. Madness being the creative side, where you come up with a novel idea, use your imagination, you make a connection between seemingly unconnected things, and measures and taking that idea into the world, making sure that it has impact. Now from this, I gained a whole bag of tools, skills, and attributes which I can apply to practically any innovation challenge out there. So that was just a snapshot. If you made it this far, I think you're awesome. Thank you for watching. But I would love to join the Lego family, because I truly believe that I've got the madness, measure, and the gravitas to add value to not only to the brand, but more importantly to young builders and creators out there. I've had a wonderful childhood where learning whilst playing was fostered, and I would love to be part of creating the same for others, particularly now. So give me a call and we'll talk further. Well, this phone doesn't really work, but the details are just...
You're hired.
Easy happen.
High five,
Oh, yeah.
high five, high five, high five, high five. Let's upload this.
Okay. Thank you for that. And thank you for indulging me to share this with you. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because, so that it's a CV, a cover letter, CV, a cover letter, and a soundbite all in one. The reason I'm saying this to you, because you can do the same. I'm not saying you should spend 3 days, it's up to you. However, again, you want to do something different, go the extra mile. It's never quite along the extra mile, as Wayne Dyer says. So I put in 3 years of my time to put that together, because it's well crafted, carefully chosen words, because I want to be able, anyway, I just want to get their attention. So I'm locked out of the system, I can't apply. So I'm like, okay, I know video making, I'm going to put this video together, and my whole plan was I'm going to get their attention. That was my goal. I put it on LinkedIn, I had like 20,000 views on there, put it on different platforms, people started sharing it, and guess what? Like 4 of the top people of Lego globally noticed. I'm not saying I was hired. It was just like they noticed. I was on their radar. My point was I wanted to get a foot in the door. I wanted to do something differently. And within 24 hours, this gentleman reached out, who's a friend of somebody I know, said, I watched your video. Do you want to chat about Lego? I said, I'm not the hiring manager, but I want to chat about Lego. And he gave me some time. He gave me some context, told me a bit about the role. And I got their attention. He goes like, that was really ballsy. It's really different and nobody's ever done that. So what's the point of this story here? By the way, I didn't get the role, which is, it doesn't matter really, because it turned out to be a more managerial role. I'm a bit more of a player than a manager in that case. I'm still in conversation about new roles. So who knows, maybe next time I'll be doing something in Lego. But the point is it got their attention. Now think for your world, think you do the same thing. It doesn't have to be YouTube, but think about how you can create a quick video to help you stand out. Because I'm sorry, people, I know lots of speakers. If you're a speaker on leadership or nonviolent communication or change, hey, that's cool. But so are like millions of other people. Like, what makes you different? And this is one way you could stand out. It doesn't guarantee anything. It's different. It's fresh. You can share different things. You can be playful. And the other one is, if you put a lot of love, that personality, and that editing, and the content in there, you think that through for like your little, 90-second show reel. Think about it this way: if you can show some of your personality, your clients can then decide whether they want to work with you. Maybe it's not the right case anyway, because I know with this video, if they don't like that, they're probably not going to like me anyway. And that's okay, because I never wanted to be everybody's cup of coffee. So that's like the power of video. That's how I use snippets. And I could have only gotten there if I'd spent the last 3.5 years creating videos. And I'm a freak. I will spend an hour and a half looking for that one cat sound that comes up nicely when I throw that cat out the window, that makes it sound like it crashes somewhere on top of a dinosaur. I will spend the time doing that. You don't have to, just so you know, you don't have to. Right now, I'm running a mini challenge with 10 people over WhatsApp. And the goal is every day we create a little video, no editing. I just want people to get used to being on camera. So on Monday, it was introduction. Tuesdays, teach you something. Thursday, it's shows it behind the scene. They're just getting used to shooting quick videos on their phone. Start there. You don't need much else.
Great. Joeri, just to combine two more questions. Someone asked about LinkedIn as a more professional platform. Do you recommend it from that point of view? And then also, what alternative platforms can one use to create videos if YouTube doesn't fit your brand, and still use snippets to entice leads? And there I'd like to add to that question whether Facebook video is now a viable alternative, and whether you've looked at platforms like Twitch and Discord. Okay.
So I can be quick on the platforms. First of all, I don't like Facebook at all. Maybe it works for you. I don't like it. I've never really liked it. And I'm not a believer that you should put your energy everywhere. Pick the 2-3 platforms. No, not even. Pick 1 or 2 that you know your audience is at. So no, Tyrone, you said in your video, for instance, you want to get onto a TikTok because part of your audience might be there. That's the first question, like, where is your audience? Maybe it is TikTok, maybe it's not. I don't think Instagram is a good strategy for everything. I suck on Instagram. I actually lose followers on Instagram. That's how bad I am on Instagram. Because that's not my playground. YouTube is and LinkedIn is. So that's kind of the first thing. Like pick first of all where your audience is, where the best one is. I've not used, I know Twitch is, of course, it's more gaming. Twitch is interesting. The reason I say this, and I agree, I think Gary Vee says the same thing. He says, if you want to see where the communication, so where the technology is going, you get a lot of ideas by looking at Twitch. And you might not be a gamer per se. I'm not a gamer. Analog game, I like playing games, like board games in the 70s. Anyway. But on Twitch, you can learn about what other people are doing. And very often the ways of communicating that are happening on Twitch or did happen on Twitch are now common in business now. This whole thing, kind of streaming with headphones on, that's been normal for gamers for years and for tech people. So that's a good example. Discord, I haven't even looked into Discord yet, but it's definitely something I want to look into. Again, I don't want to spread myself thin. I run 2 different businesses, basically, and I already have a lot to do. So I don't like to spread it thin. So my first thing for any view is, where do you like to play and where's your audience? LinkedIn is a very good platform if you know how to stand out. Can I give you one quick tip on standing out? Sorry if I'm going a bit all over the place. It's just, I hope this is useful. I am looking at your questions. For LinkedIn and wherever you put your videos, one of the biggest things I see, it's not a mistake. Let's put it like this. One of the best things all of you can do, let's say that you've got a 60-second clip of one of your talks, your good one. You know when you're doing a good job. You know you got that mic drop, like you've done once, like, yeah, I felt like Freddie Mercury at Wembley, you know you've done something really, really well. You pick that one and you pick the best part out of it. A lot of people think they want to keep that, kind of give an introduction and then do the good stuff later on. With video, you do exactly the opposite. You give them the best bit in the first 5 seconds. Why? Because with video, when people are online, you don't have them hostage. I want you to remember this. When you're in the room and people have paid to go see you, to listen to Melanie Rothman or to listen to Chris or to listen to Franz Nortje speak about something, they have a bit of a commitment to listen to you. And it's a bit rude to kind of sneak out. Online, they don't have to. Online, they will just click away. And we all do that. You're getting bombarded with messages. So put your best bit in the first couple of seconds. So if your video starts with, hi, everybody, my name is Joeri. I'm an Agile coach. I've been an Agile coach for, people have already clicked away by this point. Nobody cares. Give them what they want first. That's why you see YouTube always start with, here's this video. I'm going to give you 3 different ways. So you make $100 in one day with whatever, wearing a baseball cap or something, whatever it is. It doesn't really matter. You start there, but give your best bits up front. That will be, and that's the same on LinkedIn. There's a lot of noise on LinkedIn, YouTube, etc. I'm aware of time off. I'm looking at you.
Thanks, Joeri. I was going to thank you for that great concluding comment. I know there's a lot more you can say, but we have 2 minutes left, and that gives Joke just 2 minutes to say what I'm sure she wanted to say in 20 minutes. Joke, over to you.
Joeri, what a delightful session. I just love listening to you, and it was so amazing to actually have you in South Africa. Thank you for flying in for us. It was amazing. And just to summarize some of the core things that stood out for me, put the best stuff in the first 5 seconds. That's probably why you showed us that video with you pumping hot, doing some of the best editing so that everyone could be captivated right from the beginning. So you're not only sharing your gems, but you're actually showing it and illustrating that as well. And let's not be like those people in the 90s that said that they're never going to learn email. Let's all do video and start using our show reels and getting onto this editing software. And as you said with that beautiful quote, now is as a good time as any. Start with what you know, see what you have available, try different camera angles. A good one that I also know of, Joeri, is the Irian webcam that could possibly also be used, or otherwise just an extra cell phone besides your camera. Do different angles and bring in your content, personality, and editing. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, everybody.
How can people reach out to you? Do you have a mailing list? Do you have any freebie download lead magnet that you can send me that I can send out to PSA or anything like that? Or
I have nothing free to give. You can always find me on YouTube. And what I want to do is, because there's so many questions in here, when you've got the recording, can you send me the chat file? I'll look through some of the questions and I will follow up on those questions in like a little quick video. By the way, last little one, just a little tip for you. So the Magic Sauce, you can find me there, reach out, become my best BFF. Last little one, some of you people responded to my video ask thing. For all of you speakers, video ask has a free and a paid version. Use it for your audience. Go talk to your clients, go talk to your audience. It's different, it's video, it's very now. They can respond with text, video, audio. Little tool you can use to get more engagement. Stand out from the noise. A lot of people talk, engage, like love them up like that.
Thank you, Joeri. Thank you, everyone, for attending. It's been a fantastic session. We'll share the highlights of it with everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. Have a lovely day. And
stay warm, Joeri. Stay warm, everyone else.
Peace, love, and understanding.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Cheers, Joeri. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.